Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
Joe Biden has now passed that famed initial benchmark of his new presidency, first established by fellow Democrat FDR, the first 100 days. So how to describe what we've seen so far of this successor to Donald Trump? Well, there's a familiar expression in popular culture relating to a person who serves as a hard-scrabble deal closer for his boss. The expression was first used to describe a traveling salesman peddling someone else's product, though it now often evokes someone looking to collect money or favors for an organized crime operation. But there's also political versions of the same, people who don't make decisions, but perform the bidding for those who do. It's called a Bagman. And given what we've witnessed over these first days of the Biden presidency, we have good reason to believe this is exactly what we elected. In fact, going one step further and examining the initiatives of the early days of the administration, it would hardly be hyperbole to describe the entire process of Biden's nomination and election as little more than yet another old-time expression, bait and switch. I mean, did Joe Biden ever decry America as systemically racist in the 47 years of his political career before 2020? Did he ever previously describe it as a stain on the soul of the country? Was he not always opposed to packing the courts prior to this year? Did he not speak publicly against ending the Senate filibuster at every opportunity until now? Did he not deny, after saying the opposite on many previous occasions, that he would attempt to impose a green energy agenda on an unwitting nation? And did he not promise a safer, more humane border before reversing Trump's border policies just for the sake of reversing them because Trump set the policies? But the bottom line question is, did not the Democratic Party clear the presidential field to hand Joe Biden their nomination specifically because he was viewed by voters as reliably moderate? Does what we're seeing and hearing out of this White House even remotely resemble the Joe Biden of 1973 or 88 or 2008 or 2016 or even the 2020 campaign? This chief executive has pulled off the oldest political parlor trick in the book, one designed strictly to deceive and confound the voters. Run as a centrist, govern as a leftist. But in Biden's case, he's serving as the repository for radical notions which offend the essentials of this constitutional republic, ideas far to the left of those which have animated his almost half-century in the D.C. swamp. Indeed, there's little doubt that Joe Biden is delivering the goods for some committee or collection of hard leftists who failed to launch a successful candidacy of their own and thus turned to Biden as the harmless public face for their most radical ideas. And he has also dutifully complied with their demands, no doubt as part of an implicit agreement. Here's how it probably went. They would reluctantly get behind his candidacy, because who else was there, and do everything in their power to take Trump down. Biden, in turn, would remain silent as their most radical elements set the nation ablaze over last summer, and upon reaching the promised land on Pennsylvania Avenue, he would serve as their bagman. If your own eyes don't provide sufficient proof of this entente between a decades-long career politician and the shadowy forces controlling his presidency, consider one most revealing recent episode which fully unmasked the truth of what happens when Joe Biden attempts to think for himself. Desperate to control a border crisis that threatens his presidency, he decided to reverse course and restore the Trump-era limits on entry, and was swiftly rebuked by whatever group of leftists are commanding his agenda. So he promptly reversed his decision again. The powers behind the curtain can't have this guy thinking he got some sort of mandate to do as he pleases, as if voters viewed him as anything more than not Trump. So Biden projected to a nationwide primetime audience in his first quasi-State of the Union address the ongoing themes ordered by his masters: systemic racism, climate change, catastrophe, and all the rest. And true to his first 100 days, he dressed it all up with a pleasant bow for popular consumption. Joe Biden may believe he's sitting pretty as the pandemic-weary nation returns to its feet. In fact, he may even get plucky enough to try making another decision that is not simply a knee-jerk reversal of something Trump did. But rest assured that if he steps out of line again and refuses to obey orders from his shadowy commanding officers, they will soon teach him afresh that absent his obedience, the success of his presidency is hardly in the bag.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty Nation.
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news.
And remember, liberty.
Today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com.